guys, thanks for joining me today. Today we're talking about inclusive leadership. I came across a great article just the other day, and I really feel like it's some information that you all can really use right now in this climate of leadership, or some may say lack thereof. We need more inclusive leadership in every organization, in every level of management there is. So today, the actual title, it will be "We Need Inclusive Leadership Right Now More Than Ever." There's never been a time where more people were interested in learning, or more was at stake. After reading about the current administration's effort to halt federal agencies' diversity and inclusion trainings, the person writing the article questioned the authenticity of such a move. And as I sat back and thought about that statement as a man of color, so did I. It seemed counterproductive to battle the battle of racism America is currently grappling with, and quite frankly has always been grappling with. While most people are learning about anti-bias, anti-racism, and equality, this decision sends a strong message to leaders and constituents. Imagine if your institution or organization took this stance. What would be at stake? Asking a leader, no, as a leader, taking a stance that you don't value diversity, equality, and inclusion training would most certainly impact your bottom line. Consider the backlash to the Goya brand when CEO Robert Unanue, Unanue. I'm sorry if he sees this. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to mispronounce your name. But Robert Unanue aligned himself with a non-inclusive leader. Customers called for a boycott of the brand. Unanue's commitment to his Hispanic customer base was in question. People were tweeting homemade resolutions, or homemade solutions, if you will, to replace Goya's products. Now, contrastly, Penze's CEO, Bill Penze, has long used his voice to call the president racist. In personal communications with his customers, he is a human rights activist. In his newsletter, Penze offers up his spices with a mix of editorial commentary on what's happening in the country. He also shares pens, stickers, discounts, and more in support of inclusive leadership. He openly acknowledges that some of his customers have chosen to say goodbye to his company because of his outspoken positions. But he persevered in his commitment to doing what he calls is the right thing to do. Now, please understand this. I'm not here to bash anyone or any organization. I am strictly here to give pertinent information, specifically in this topic, about how important inclusive leadership is. You should not ever want leadership that is like-minded and the same as you are. You want people with different outlooks, different ways of thinking, so that when you present a problem or a challenge, you will the opportunity to get a 360-degree view of the problem or challenge is greater, and therefore will help you to get to a better solution. Okay? Just a little side note. In 2020, companies are called out when they demonstrate a lack of commitment to creating inclusive cultures. A laissez-faire attitude will not serve you well in this scenario. Instead, buckle up and take courageous action on your inclusion journey, knowing that you will likely feel turbulence before a smooth ride. Want to know if you're ready? The following characteristics of are vital for any inclusive leader. Number one, self-awareness. Inclusive leaders are aware of their conduct and its impact. They are willing to work on themselves and course correct when they make mistakes. Number two, honest. Inclusive leaders model open communication. They strive to take the moral higher ground. Number three, curious. Inclusive leaders seek to understand. They embrace curiosity as a tool to understand differences and unlearn deep-rooted lessons that cause harm. That, my friends, is a big issue today in leadership, refusing to understand differences to help unlearn deep-rooted lessons that cause harm. They are willing to grow and learn new capabilities. All right. The next one, courageous. Inclusive leaders, they know that the inclusion journey will not always be comfortable. Let me just say it like that. They will experience constant discomfort. Okay, but persevere despite the understanding. Okay, you will always get some negative feedback, no matter what you do, whether it's dealing with inclusive leadership, whether it's changing strategies or the way you do things. There will always be some people who will just be Debbie Downers. So get comfortable with being uncomfortable. All right. The last one is support. Inclusive leaders use their platforms to provide support, for what they believe. This support is demonstrated through consistent action, whether it's financial contributions, partnerships, etc., etc. Now, on top of this, here are some examples of inclusive leaders. For one, Tim Cook, CEO of Apple. He stands behind modeling an inclusive culture. His message is consistent. At a recent developers conference, he spoke passionately about his beliefs and commitment against racism. Number two, Kenneth Frazier, CEO of Merck Corporation. Now, he's been a long-time supporter of inclusion. He has taken courageous actions to stand against non-inclusive behaviors. One such action called for him stepping down from a very visible council that did not align with the standards as he held, the standards that he held as an inclusive leader. The next one, Mary Barra, B-A-R-R-A, CEO of General Motors. Now, she's been lauded for her leadership style. After the George Floyd murder, she immediately created a council that reported directly to her to listen to others. Most leaders have a problem listening to other people. Kudos to Mary for stepping up and doing so. The next one, Melody Hobson, co-CEO of Ariel Investments. Melody passionately speaks about the need for change and has a no-nonsense attitude about actions necessary for inclusive leadership. And finally, last but not least, let me say it like that, Melinda Gates is the co-chair of Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. She leverages her influence to promote gender equality globally. Okay? Today, folks, more than ever, you are needed. If you have not expanded your leadership skills to include inclusion, there's never been a better time. All right? That's my show for today. We need inclusive leadership now more than ever. All right? Think about that. Look at your leadership. Look at your organization. Is there inclusiveness within the leadership? If not, it's definitely something to work on, because it's not going anywhere. And you're not going anywhere as far as being successful until you have inclusive leadership. All right? That's it for me, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to watch these videos. And as always, if you like these videos and you're sharing them with the friends, like the channel, subscribe to the channel, and share it with some other friends. All right? If you're getting something out of this, I'm pretty sure some other people in your sphere of influence will as well. All right? And as always, guys, if you need some leadership development coaching, some team building, diversity training, remote leadership coaching, I am your man. Contact me. Let me know. We'll put together a tailor-made plan conducive for your success. All right? Guys, take care. And remember, great leadership equals great results. How are you leading?
Whether you're a new leader who needs the building blocks of leadership and how to be effective, or a seasoned leader who needs to understand that there are two sides to leadership, or a leader who just needs some inspiring insight or leadership seeds in order to enhance your leadership abilities, the CDV Consulting Group has the resources you need. There are two key elements successful leaders have that the unsuccessful ones don't: self-discipline and the understanding to constantly invest in themselves. So pick up a copy or the entire collection today and start investing in your leadership now. Available at Amazon.com. And remember, Great leadership equals great results. How are you leading?